All right, good morning and welcome to Daf Yomi, Maseches Megillah, Daf Yud Aleph, number 11. Um, if you can figure it out, what's different about me today? What's different about my face? I asked my parents last night, what's different about my face? First, I got on the phone with my father. My father says, I don't know, you still have a beard. Um, did you trim your beard? That was his reaction. Did you trim your beard? I can't figure out what. I said, yeah, no, I didn't. I trim my beard every Friday. I'm not growing my beard longer. I still have a beard. Is there any other difference? I couldn't figure it out. And he handed the phone to my mom. She said, "You're not wearing glasses." Like my mother realized. My mother figured it out. I'm not wearing glasses anymore. Miraculously, my eyes have got a complete recovery. I went from negative 4.5 prescription to zero. I had a miracle, an ace nigla. No, I'm joking. I'm wearing contact lenses. Yes, I bought contact lenses, and I decided to go with the contact lenses. A little different look for me. I look a little younger, I think. The beard. The reason I have a beard mostly is because I'm overweight and um, I have a double chin when I shave my beard, so it doesn't look so good. So if I do lose weight at one point, maybe I'll consider shaving my beard and fulfilling my father's desire, his deepest desire for me to shave my beard. But I'm under the impression that women do like facial hair. Um, but again, it depends how you look. I mean, some people look better with beards, some people don't look as good with beards. So, but I think most people look better with contact lenses than glasses. I don't think glasses make you look good. My uncle used to call my sister. I didn't have glasses when I was younger. I called my sister four eyes. You know, two eyes plus the two lenses of your glasses. That's four eyes. That's what I remember growing up. So now I'm two eyes plus two contact lenses. All right, let's get started. On the bottom of Yudam B is the second to last line. Rabba bar Ufran, Pasach la Pischa la Hai Parsha Samahacha. Rabba bar Ufran started his drasha on Megillah Esther as follows: Samti kisi be'elam avati misham melech v'sarim. I'll place my throne in Elam, and I'll destroy their king and noblemen. Melech zu Vashti. Melech is a reference to Vashti. V'sarim zeham. Elam, I guess, apparently was the capital where Nebuchadnezzar, where Achashverosh was. It's the capital of Achashverosh's throne, Elam. Um, Melech refers to Vashti, destroyed Vashti. I don't know. She was a queen. She wasn't a king. Sarim as Haman, Sarah's Bana of Haman and his 10 sons, they got killed. He started his discourse on Purim from this. Kiavadim, the top of Yud Aleph and Aleph. My mother told me I adjust uh, the the camera too much, so I'm trying not to do it as much. Kiavadim Anachnu doesn't look good. Like it's not getting my whole body in here. That's better. All right. Kiavadu anachnu v'avosenu lo azavnu Elokeinu v'yid aleinu chesed lifnei malchei paras. Um, we're slaves, and Hashem didn't leave us, and He showed us favor in front of the kings of Paras, Persia. Amasai was man Haman. That's talking about Haman's time. Rechanina bar Papa pasach la piskla parsha ma'acha. He opens his discourse from the following verse: "Shakaf denos roshenu bata basa banu ba'ish v'mayim." You put someone as on top of us. We came in fire and water. Ba'ish, we made Nebuchadnezzar. We were in fire in days of Nebuchadnezzar when he destroyed the Megillah, Harasha. He burned the base of Megillah. Mayim made Paro. Mayim, on a parsha Shmos. He threw all the um, the children into the water, to the Or. V'totzienu l'Ravaya. When Hashem released us to freedom, to satiation, may Haman. Those days of Haman where Hashem saved us. He opens his course from here. Zachar Chasev and Asal Beis Yisrael Arukov Se'ar Tishuas Elokeinu. Everyone should see the salvation of Hashem. Amos Yisrael Kolav Se'ar Tishuas Elokeinu. When did everyone see it? May Mordechai Esther and the days of Mordechai Esther. Ishlakish Pasuk Al Biskal Ayper Shlam Ha'acha. Ari Noam Bedov Shokek Moshe Rasha Alam Dal. Ari Noam, a lion who's growling. Zenebuchantzar Rasha. That's a reference to Nebuchadnezzar. That's our the Chsiv Bei Allah Aryeh Misovko. The lion came out of its surroundings. Dov Shokik, a bear who was making noises. Ze Achashverosh, that's Achashverosh. Aruch Ivya Acharei Tinyana Damila Dov, the animal that came second after the lion is similar to a bear. How do you know a bear? Achashverosh was a bear. These are the Persians. Sha'ochan v'shosin kedov. They eat and they drink like a bear. Umusubalin basar kedov. They have a lot of fat like bears. Amagadlin seir kedov. They grow a lot of hair like bears. Ve'ein lahem menucha kedov. They don't have any rest. They're always running around. Moshe Rasha Zehaman. Moshe Rasha, wicked ruler. Zehaman alam dal on a poor nation like Israel. This is a reference to Yisrael Shem Dalam and mitzvos. They're poor. They didn't do mitzvos in the time of Achashverosh. So there's our pasuk la piska la haybrash la mahacha. Ba'atzal sayim yimacha mekare v'shifle shadayim yilav habayis. Through laziness, the roof will collapse, and through again laziness or lack of handiwork, the house will have a leak. Because of the laziness that Yisrael had, they didn't engage in Torah study. The hater of Hashem, meaning Hashem itself, became poor. He didn't protect Klal Yisrael. Ve'ein mach ela ani. Mach refers to someone who's poor. Shenemar v'yimachu me'erkecha. It's talking about erchin. If he doesn't have enough money to pay his erchin, the Torah ve'ein mikara, a roof el HaKadosh Baruch. Hashem refers to as a roof. Shenemar mikara b'mayim al Yosef. Hashem puts in his roof water. Rav Nachum Risa Pasuk Al Piskal Ay Parsha Mahacha. He opened his drasha from here. Shir Mahal Zulei Hashem Sheyalanu Yomer Na Yisrael Zulei Hashem Sheyalanu Kumalenu Adam Adam. It's a praise to Hashem. Were it not for Hashem that He was with us when a person tried to attack us. Adam v'lo malach. Adam, a person, not melech. Adam, and not a king. We were fortunate that Adam Haman was a regular person. He wasn't a king. Tried to extinguish us, not the king. Pasuk la Achashverosh. Pasuk la Piskal Habrasha. Rava Pasuk la Piskal Habrasha Zamacha. Berabo Sadiki Mismach Am Shal Rasha Yanach. Berabo Sadiki Mismach Am. With the greatness of Sadikim, they will be a rejoice of the nations. Zemor Esther. The Chsiv Ayir Shushan Tzalev Samecha. When the Sadikim came into power, Shushan was a very joyous city. Mshal Rasha Yanach Am. When the wicked person is in charge, so then they'll be groaning and moaning. Zahaman dechsiv ayir Shushan navocha. When Haman made his edict to kill the Jews, Shushan was confused. Rav Mastam Mahacha Kimi Goy Gadol Asher Lo Elohim Krovim Elar Vashim Mahacha. He just started his drasha from that pasuk. Who is like this great nation, a nation of Klal Yisrael that has a God close to them. Vashim Mahacha. Oh Anisa Elokim. Pasuk continues, Hashem made a miracle, a kachas goy, to take a nation out, the reference to the story of Purim. The Gemara darshans the Megillah. I'm a Rav Vai Vahai, a lashon of woe and mourning. Had the chsiv is makartem sham loivecha levadim l'shvachos. This is one of the klalos in the Torah that you'll be sold to your enemies for slaves. Shmuel amar lo maasim lagaltim lachalosim maasim. Again, he started his drasha with this pasuk. I didn't revolt. I wasn't disgusted to destroy Klal Yisrael. I wasn't revolted. We may have won in the days of the Greeks. I wasn't disgusted in the days of Nebuchadnezzar. To destroy the Haman in the days of Haman. To remove my covenant from them. In the days of Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, who were enslaved by Nebuchadnezzar. Sorry. Ki ani Hashem. Sorry. V'legaltim. Ma'asav v'legaltim l'chalos l'azir. Fair Brisi. Tommy May Parsim in the days of the Persians. Presumably, this refers to the Sassanid Empire, which was after the destruction of the first base of Megillah. There was the Roman Empire, which eventually was divided into the Eastern Roman Empire and the Western Roman Empire. The Eastern Roman Empire, where the capital was Constantinople, which is Istanbul in Turkey. That did not extend to the area of Arabia, which was under the Sassanid, the Persianid Empire, as Iran, Iraq, those areas. The Sassanid Empire, that's Parsian, whenever the Gemara refers to it. Um, May Parsem. Keni Hashem Elokeim may Gog Umago. Hashem will be with us even in the days of Gog Umago. This is a Tana. The Bryce that we taught Loma Astim, a different Joshua this pasuk. Loma Astim, I wasn't revolted to make Kastim. Days of the Chaldeans. That was the period right after the Babylonians, the Chaldeans. Shemati Lahem Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah. I gave them the leaders, the Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah. Loga Altime Yavonim. I wasn't discussed with them during the days of the Greeks. Shemati Lahem Shimon Atzadik, I had Shimon Atzadik, Kohen Gadol, Chashmonai, Bonov, and the kings of Chashmonai, and the sons of Matisyahu, Kohen Gadol. The father is Matisyahu, the Kohen Gadol, Chalosam. Hashem didn't give up on them to destroy them. Haman Shemai Lam Mordechai Esther. He gave them Mordechai Esther to save them. Lahafer Brisi Itam Me Parsim. He didn't want to break his covenant. That's the days of the Persians, like we said, the Sassanid Empire. Shemai Tilhem Shal Beis Rebbe B'Chachmei Doros. Rebbe, he was basically in Eretz Israel, but he helped alleviate the burden in Persia. B'Chachmei Doros Kina Hashem and the sages of those generations, in the Gemara, the sages of the Mishnayos. Kina Hashem Elokeim. Because I am Shem, their God. Us lavo. It includes even in the future. She'en kol umma v'lashon yichol lishlap behem. No one's going to be able to rule over Klal Yisrael. Levi Amar Mehacha. He started his Joshua from here. Mozarishu es Yoshvei Aretz. If you don't drive out, this is a warning that Hashem says in the Torah. If you don't drive out the people of the land, this is a reference to what Shaul did. They left over Agag and he didn't kill him. And one of the descendants of Agag, who was an Amaleki, was Haman. That's what the relevance to Purim. What I wanted to do to them, I'll do to you again, because they did not because Shaul did not kill Agag, and Haman came for them. Achashverosh Amar, Achashverosh. The Gemara darshans the word Achashverosh. Amar Rav Akiv Shal Rosh. He was the brother of someone who was the head. The Megillah Shal Rosh. He had the same characteristic traits as the Rosh. Achiv Shal Rosh, he was the brother of the Rosh. Achiv Shal Shanikra Rasha. He was the brother of Nebuchadnezzar, who was called a Shanikra Rosh. And he was considered a Rosh, a head. Shnemar Antu Resha Didahava. He's the head covered in gold. He liked gold, the Nebuchadnezzar. Ben Gilo Shal Rosh, he was the same characteristic traits of the Rosh. Who Harog, the Nebuchadnezzar killed people. Who Bigesh the Harog? Achashverosh attempted to kill people. Who Hechriv, Nebuchadnezzar destroyed Yerushalayim. Who Bikesh lahachrav? He wanted to destroy the Yerushalayim. They accused the Jews of wrongdoing in the times, the beginning of the reign of Achashverosh. The Shmuel Amar Shehushkaru Pneim Shal Yisrael. Achashverosh the lashon, they blackened, the faces of the Jews were blackened. Biyamav Geshulik, they were like the bottom of a pot. They're embarrassed. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Kol Shezochro. A smear campaign. Well, embarrassed. There was a smear campaign. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Kosha Zochro Amar Ach Larosho. Anyone who remembers Achashverosh says, "Oh, my head is hurting me." Rabbi Chanina Amar Shakol Nasu Rashim Yimav. He says Achashverosh means from Rashim, from poor. That everyone became poor in his day. Shnemar V'Yasam Melech Achashverosh Mas. The second last pasuk in Megillah Esther, after the whole story of Mordechai and Esther, he put a tax on all the islands. Who Achashverosh? He is Achashverosh. Who? What is the word? Who? Who? Berisha mitklasav ad sofo. He remained a Rasha from the beginning to the end. Who Esav? The Gemara Darshan is the same thing about Esav. Who Berisha mitklasav ad sofo. He was evil his whole life. Who Dasan vaviram? He doesn't read on him. Berisha mitklasav ad sofo. In their entire lives they were Rishayim. Who Moshe? Who Hamelech Achaz? The king of Achaz, who Berisha Mitkilas Sofa. Achaz was a wicked king. Avram, who Avraham, that's a different Joshua, who Besidko Mitchlas, so Avram was a tzaddik from the beginning of his life till the end, who Aaron and Moshe, him Besidko Mitchlas, and so when they were tzaddikim their entire lives. With David, who Akatan, David was a katan, who Bekatnusa Mitchlas, himself, he was humble from basically his whole life. Much like when he was young, the actual pasuk refers to David. He was the youngest one in the family, but the more darshan the cotton is from Anivos. Just like when he was young, he lowered himself to people that are greater than him. But Torah and Torah kach malchuso, even when he was king, again he deferred to people that are greater than him in Torah, like it says in the Gemara in Brachos on Daf Dalet. Hamolech Amarav Shamalach Ma'atzmo. Hamolech. What's a word? He became king. He's becoming king. Amarav Shamalach Ma'atzmo. What does it teach us? He made himself king. Amrila L'Shvach. Some say this is praiseworthy. Some say it's derogatory. Amrila L'Shvach. It was praiseworthy. He made himself king, but there was no one more fit to be king than him. Amrila Gnai. Some say derogatory. He wasn't fit to be king. He just had a lot of money and he bribed people in order to become king. Hodu Vad Kush. It says in the Megillah that he ruled from Hodu Vad Kush. Rav Shmuel Chadamar Hodu B'Sofa Olam Kush B'Sofa Olam. One of them says that Hodu is at the end of the world and Kush is at the end of the world. Chadamar Hodu Kush Gabay Dadi Habu Kaime. Shem Shemalach Hodu Kush Kach Malach B'Sofa Olam Ad Sofa. Just like he was able to rule over two countries that were very close to each other, so too he was equally able to rule over the whole world in the same manner that he ruled over two adjacent countries. Now we'll say Imad Ben Sion for today. This is an amazing Imad Ben Sion. I've told this over to numerous people over the years. What is Hodu Vad Kush? Where is Hodu Vad Kush? So Hodu in Hebrew really means Turkey. Hodu Basar Hodu is Turkey. So there's a country called Turkey. And there's also a country called Kush, which most people interpret as Ethiopia. Now, Turkey and Ethiopia are not exactly next to each other, but they are pretty close. Turkey is, it borders between Europe, Asia, and Africa. I think it's included it's the one country that actually may be part of three different continents. Part of it is considered part of Africa, but even if it's considered part of Asia, it's very close to Ethiopia. You just go a little south into Africa, you get to Ethiopia. Ethiopia is towards the northern part of Africa, so they're pretty close countries. So that could be the explanation that they're adjacent to each other. The explanation that they're on opposite ends of the world, and you have to say Hodu in common Hebrew now. Hodu means India. We'll say and Kush. What's Kush? Kush is Massachusetts. America. Massachusetts is the place where the Plymouth, the ship, I think it was the Mayfair and I don't know. There were three ships I think came to. It was one of the first colonies. I think Virginia was the first colony, Jamestown, and then the second one was Plymouth, Massachusetts. I think it was the Mayfair. I have to remember what boat came there. I'm not exactly sure. It was the first colonized part of America. So if you figure out the world is 360 degrees in terms of latitude. It's a circle, latitude. So I'm sorry, longitude. Latitude is across. Longitude is the vertical lines of the world. It's 360 degrees. So if you measure from Calcutta, India. Calcutta, India is famous for, I forgot the guy's name. He was one of the biggest Hindu leaders ever. He lived in Calcutta, India. That's maybe one of the most famous places in India. Maybe more famous than the capital, New Delhi. Calcutta, India, you measure from Calcutta, India, the longitude of Calcutta, India to Massachusetts. You end up with, I believe, 160 degrees. You have to hear this.
I have to say a share in 3 minutes. I just
Hodu Vad Kush. Hodu Vad Kush. Where is Hodu and Kush?
Beginning of the self of the world.
What is Hodu? All right, he's not answering. Anyway, 160 degrees longitude. Now that's considered the front of the world. The backside of the world is to the west of Massachusetts and to the east of Calcutta, India, and that really would be seemingly it would be 200 degrees. But if you take out the Polynesian Triangle, which is similar to the Bermuda Triangle, it's a bigger version of the Bermuda Triangle. Everyone knows Bermuda. There's legends that it really doesn't exist, or things ships get lost at sea next to Bermuda. There's a bigger, more than the Bermuda Triangle, which is in the Atlantic Ocean. You have the Polynesian Triangle, which is in the Pacific Ocean, which, if you connect it, it connects from Hawaii to New Zealand, uh, and maybe I think Fiji or something, or one of those small islands in the south. You make a Polynesian Triangle. There is such a thing as a Polynesian Triangle, which measures um, 40 degrees. So you take from, I think it's from Auckland or Wellington, New Zealand. Wellington, I think, is the capital of New Zealand. Uh, Auckland, Aukland. If you measure from Auckland to Hawaii, or you've measured then the Polynesian Triangle, that's another 40 degrees. So it's almost like it doesn't exist, just like the Bermuda Triangle. Take out those 40 degrees, it ends up the backside of the world also is 160 degrees. So it's 160 degrees that really exist in the backside of the world. 160 degrees from Massachusetts to Calcutta, India. Check it out. It measures up, and that is the real pshat in this Gemara. It's a beautiful pshat. I hope you like it. So the Gemara continues. Similarly, he who rode the B'chol Ever Hanar Shlomo Melech ruled over the entire stream of water. Mitifsach at Aza, we know is Gaza. Tifsach, I don't know where Tifsach, Tifrach, maybe it's close to it. Rav Shmuel Chanamar, Tifsach B'sof Olam, Aza B'sof Olam. Some say it was at the end of the world. They reached at the end of the world. Chanamar, Tifsach, Aza, Bahade Dadi, they were next to each other. Tifrach is in the south, next to Gaza. Shir Shamalach al Tifsach, Aza, Kach Malach al Kolam Kulo. He was able to equally rule over the entire world, just like the adjacent countries. Shevet, Medina, 127 provinces. Amar of Chisda, B'tchila Malach al Sheva. First, he ruled over 7 provinces. Self Malach Esrim. Then he regained strength to rule over 20 provinces. Self Malach al Meya. Then he ruled over 100. El Ma'ata. He ruled over 100 provinces at the end. El Ma'ata, not 107. El Ma'ata, V'shnei Chaye Amram. Sheva v'shloshim mashran. If we're darshaning it like that it says in backwards order, Sheva v'shloshim meya. So my darash, but you're going to say he lived for 7 years, then he lived for 30, then he really lived for 30 years, and he really lived for 100 years. Doesn't make any sense. Shiny hacha, answer the cry is seirhu. It's an extra pasuk. Sheva or the esru meya shana. Michti ksim hodu v'akush. It says hodu v'akush. Sheva esru meya damina, that you can figure out how many provinces or how many countries are in between. Why did it say these words? I'll tell you the drasha that first it was 7, then 20, then 100. 3 kings ruled over the entire world, the entire archer, the whole world. Be'eluhain, who are they? Achav, Achasheras, V'nuchlezer, Achav, Dichsiv, Achav, L'chai Hashem L'kecha, V'yesh Goyim L'machah, Shalosh Shalach Adonai Shem L'Vakeshcha. He was looking for Eliyahu Hanavi. So he said, every kingdom in the world I sent to you. If he didn't have jurisdiction over all the countries in the world, how could he knowingly swear that he sends someone everywhere? He can't gain admission to the country he's not king over. Nebuchadnezzar says the countries that don't bear the yoke of my kingdom. Achashverosh, which just said when it says Mahodu Kush, the Aleph from a base, the Gemara says Vesuleka. There's no other people that rule the entire world. Vayika Shlomo Melech, who said Tivsa Charaza. The Gemara says Lo Sak Malchus, say he didn't finish his life reigning over the entire world. Nichlam Amar Melech V'Hedyot. The Gemara in Gittin says originally he was a king, and then he became a Hedyot after he was accosted by the demon. I think the demon's name. El Amar Melech V'Hedyot Melech, that he really returned to king. Ma'ikal Meimar, he did finish his kingship. Shlomo Milsach Risa Havabay. No, Shlomo was even more. He was Molech also on the celestial beings, on the heavenly beings. Shedemar Vayesha Shlomo Al Kisei Hashem. He sat on Kilu, the throne of Hashem. Abbas Sancheira, that's Sancheira. Dechsiv mi b'chol el heira ela asher tzilu asartza miyadi. No one saved their land from me. I ruled over all of them. And where answers Aika Yerushalayim the Lokavshi, he wasn't able to conquer Yerushalayim. Aika Daryavish. What about Daryavish? I see with Daryavish, Malka Kasav L'chol Mayu Lishnaya Didarim Cholara Shalmechon Yaski. He wrote to all the nations, every nation in the world, I give peace to you. Aika Shev Adol Malachal. And Mary says really he didn't rule over 7 countries. Shvar Kadam Daryavish V'hikim Amuchuzar Lach Sharpanaya Meya Be'estrin. He sent out to the satraps of people to watch over them. Only 120. We know Achashverosh had 127. Even like Gemara Darshan before, he only had 100 at the end. The Gemara is obviously going with destruction. But Ha'ika Koresh, what Koresh T'chsiv, Kamar Hashem Koresh Melech Paras Kol Mamlechos Haaretz Suddenly Hashem. He said, Hashem gave me all the lands. Hashem Mishtabuchu Dekam Mishtabech. The Gemara says he was just praising himself, but he wasn't telling the truth. He really didn't rule over the entire world. Vayamahim Keshevet Hamelech Vayamahim, the Gemara continues darshaning the Megillah. Vayamahim Keshevet Hamelech. Chsiv Basrei B'Shnas Shalosh L'Malach. First it says when he first became king, Keshevet Hamelech. And it says the story happened the 3rd year of his king. Amarava my Keshevet. Keshevet doesn't mean right when he became king. Yashva Daita, when his mind became calm. Amar Belshazzar Chashav V'Tah. Belshazzar tried to make a calculation, made a mistake. Ana Chashiv L'Lata'ina. I'll make a calculation of when the Jews are supposed to return to Eretz Yisrael, and they don't return. So Hashem is wrong. I won't make a mistake. Mahi. Hashem says, after 70 years of Bavel, I'll redeem you. At the end of the destruction of Shalayim, I'll read 70 years. I'll redeem you. Calculate 45 years of Nebuchadnezzar's reign. Evil Merodach was the king who reigned after Hashverosh. He was reigned for 23 years. Tarti Day and 2 years of Belshazzar. Hashivim, it ends up to 70 years. Apik Mani, so 70 years, they haven't been redeemed. Apik Mani de Mikdasha, he took out the utensils, the kalim based on Mikdash of the Kohen Gadol, Vishtamish Behu, and he used them. How do you know he reigned for 45 years? Amar Mar, Galu B'Sheva, Galu B'Shmona, Galu B'Shmona Esrei, Galu B'Shai. It's a weird pasuk. It says there are Gola 7, 8, 18, and 19. So what does that mean? Galu B'Sheva, L'Kiba Shel Yaakov. The Galus Yoyachin. The Galus of Yoyachin, who was the king, was 7 years after the Galus of Yoyakim, Sheish Shmona Nebuchadnezzar, which is the 8th year of the rule of Nebuchadnezzar. Gala B'Shmona Esrei L'Kib B'Yoyakim, Galus Sitkiyahu Shidshah Esrei Nebuchadnezzar. The final Galus of the Jews and the destruction of the Mikdash was 18 years after Yoyakim was sent away. Sidkiyahu was sent away. Shidshah Esrei Nebuchadnezzar, which is 19 years after Nebuchadnezzar took the throne. Amar Shana Rishon Kibish Ninveh, the first year of Nebuchadnezzar's rule, he captured Ninveh, which is the capital of Babel. Shniya Kivesh Yoyakim, the second year he was Kovesh Yoyakim, the king of Jerusalem. 37 years after he exiled Yoyakim, Melech Yehuda, the king of Yehuda, B'Shnei Esrei Chodesh, the 12th month, B'Esrim V'Chamisha L'Chodesh, 25th day of the month. Really, it could be 25th of Adar, it's a 12 month, or if you calculate from the Gregorian calendar, it would be December 25th, or Christmas. Nasa Evil Merodach Melech Bavel B'Shnas Malchuso Es Rosh Yoyachin Melech Yehuda Vayelzeh Yasam Beis Hakela. Evil Merodach took over. He took over after Yoyachin was exiled. Tmani V'Tlasin V'Sheva Harei Arba'in V'Chamesh V'Nebuchadnezzar. So he had 37 years from Yoyachin, which add 8 years of Yoyachin since the beginning of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. He ruled for 45 years. He ruled for 25 years. Evil Murdoch ruled for 23 years. That's the tradition we have. The Tarti Day and 2 years, like the Navi counts of Belshazzar. Hashivin, he said 7 years. Now they're not going to be redeemed. Apik Mani de Mikdasha, he took out the Kalim based on Mikdash. Shamish Behu, Hainit the Kamar Le Daniel, Almar Ishmael Shamam Dalamanai de Baise, he saw of Kadamach, you try to elevate yourself over Hashem, and you took out the Kalim with based on Mikdash. Siv Be Belelia Katel Belshazzar Malkal Kashdai. He was killed, Belshazzar, by a Chaldean. V'chsiv by Daryavish Madah Kabal Malchusa Kvar Shnin Stein Vitar. V'chsiv by Daryavish Madah Kabal Malchusa Kebar Shnin V'shisin. He became king, Daryavish, at the age of 62. Vitartin, Shan Shitin Vitartin, 62. Amar Iu Mita Tai, he said, Belshazzar made a mistake. Ana chashivna, I'll calculate velota yinarim. May say l'malchus Babel. Does it say Hashem's drasha l'malchus Babel, kingdom of Babel? LeBavel, so now when he became king, LeBavel, my LeBavel, Legalis Babel, from the Jews going into Babel. Kama b'tzirin. T'mana, you take off 8 years. Chashiv, so 8 years from when Nebuchadnezzar became king, he exiled Yoyachin in the 8th year of his kingship. Chashiv, Aya, Chilufayu, Chad Belshazzar. So you have to add 1 year Belshazzar the year that he died. V'chamish Daryavish, 5 years Daryavish for Koresh and Koresh. Which are the day and 2 first years of Achashverosh's rule. Hashivin, 70 years. Came when the Chazi the Malu Shivin v'lo Ifra. You saw 7 years pass. They weren't redeemed. Amar Hashtavada is Zulam Ifraki. They're not going to be redeemed anymore. Apik Mani Be Mikdasha. He took out the Kalim Beis Hamikdash v'Ishtamish Behu, and he used them Basat on Rike Beinayim. The devil danced between them, Haragas Vashti, and killed Vashti. And my answer is he did make the right calculation. Where it says he also made a mistake. From the complete destruction of Yerushalayim, which happened when Tzidkiyahu was exiled 11 years later. So Kama B'Sirin Chad Chadesar, we're missing 11 years. Iu Kama Malach. How long did Achashverosh reign for? Our Beisar in 14 years. Our Beisar Didei Ba'ilel Mivni Beis Mikdash. Why wasn't the Beis Hamikdash rebuilt in his 14th year, the last year of his rulership? That the construction of the Beis Hamikdash was approved years earlier was halted until 2 years after. Amarava Shanim Mikutos Havu, that in our previous calculations we counted partial years as full years. For example, Daryavish and Koresh we counted as 5 years, but really you have to calculate one of their years as the same year because it overlapped. They each reigned for half a year and counted as a full year for them. Really, you should only count 2 full years. It should really be 1 full year. Also, Nebuchadnezzar and Evil Merodach, we counted as 68 years. It should really be 67 years because the half a year is counted as a whole year for both of them. Anyway, have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.